lost you over time.
Views and opinions are not necessarily that of John Strange, host, guest, and affiliated.
You have everything of a great conspiracy. How did I get?
Yeah, it's kind of a creepy place, you know, because there's no light at all.
A lot of experiments out there.
Plutonium, nuclear weapon.
Nuclear destruction. They're just balls of light. There's a ghost in the house.
All right, everyone, broadcasting live from the Napa Valley wine country, just outside the mystical Sonoma Mountains. This is Beyond the Strange. I'm your host, Dave Cruz. Thank you all for being with us today. We have got a fantastic show for you today. Got a special show. Doing a live stream here on YouTube and in the Discord Strange Chat. That's right. So we are in the Strange Chat. We are in the YouTube chat. We are in both chats and we are live. So thank you all for being with us. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Kevin Killen, and we shall be talking with him in a little bit. Also, I do have the phone lines that will be opened up in a little while. So that number is 1415-891-9083. If you want to ask me or Kevin a question. Again, that number is 1415-891-9083 when the phone lines are open. And just really quick, you can find all the information to the show, links and social media, show calendar. Yes, that's a new feature on the website. Guest info, etc., all at beyondthestrange.com. And remember to subscribe, and you will receive a monthly new newsletter. And always remember to like and share the show, whether it's Spreaker, whether it's YouTube, anywhere that you can like and share, please do so. It helps the show, and we greatly appreciate it. So everything, again, is all at beyondthestrange.com. All the links. And also, don't forget, if you got your CBD needs, we got them. Go to www.gothempextracts.com. Again, that's gothempextracts.com for all your CBD needs, and use the promo code Beyonders for 10% off your order. That's right, 10%. Go to gothempextracts.com, promo code Beyonders for that 10% off. And really quickly, let me just introduce to you, Kevin has won 5 Virginia Press Awards during his time in journalism. Having stepped away from journalism, Kevin now counsels recovering addicts. He hopes his book can help others understand the paranormal, to give insight into what others are experiencing. Kevin has never gone on a full paranormal investigation and can't wait to do so. Kevin resides in Alexandria, Virginia, not far from his childhood home in Falls Church, where he had some of his earliest paranormal experiences, and he is still experiencing paranormal. So, with that, please help me welcome Mr. Kevin Killen. Kevin, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, because otherwise,
Yes, absolutely perfect, Dave. Thank you.
that'd be a really
I
bad
get that
faux
all the
pas.
time. I guess I should probably do one of those like KIL-LENs, the kind of phonetically, because I've gotten everything from Keller, Killer, Klein, you name it, everyone put the name. So no, that was perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. I think it's pretty cool. And it fits the paranormal in a sense where it's you're killing it in the paranormal. So I'm sorry. That was bad.
Yeah. That's another thing. A lot of the first people say that's your real name. I said, well, who the hell's going to make something up like that? I mean, but yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, got Night Stalker in the Discord chat. Got Lily. She just showed up. Thanks for joining us. The stream is working in the voice chat. So for those of you who are in Discord, please go over there. You can listen to it that way. Or you could just hang out with us in YouTube, where Mari and Michael and Russ are hanging out with me right now. So we have got some people trickling in. So that's all good. So Kevin, we recently talked. You are a paranormal investigator, and you've written a book, Ghost and Me. What was your inspiration behind that?
The inspiration behind it is I've had experiences since I was about 5 years old. So I've had experiences all my life. So I just, obviously, I guess it was a natural progression being a journalist, just to kind of go ahead and start writing stuff down that I've experienced, and then it kind of just morphed into a book. I've always wanted to be an author. So this was like a lifelong dream for me and a dream come true. And if I may, can I give a shout out to Ozark Mountain Publishing, my publishers who made my dream come true, and I really
Absolutely.
appreciate them doing that. If it wasn't for them, I'd still probably be out there trying to peddle this book somewhere. So I really appreciate them having the faith in me to publish me. But it was about a 15-year journey between first word written and publication. So yeah, it's pretty near and dear to me.
Very cool. Yeah, I was able to read a bit of the book. It's been a ridiculous week for me. We were talking about that earlier, and yeah, it's pretty cool having it on an ebook. It's funny because the first couple of times I tried to open it, I had a problem with it because, and I'm only mentioning this for people when they get your book. What you want to do is you want to download an EPUB a reader. That usually helps. I'm not sure how Kindle works with that. I don't have a Kindle or anything like that, but the one that I used is called, I think it's Fedora ebook reader for Windows. So that seems to really do the job. Looks beautiful. It's nice. I use the dark version, so the background's black and then the letters are white. So that way it doesn't hurt my eyes. And yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, nicely done, Kevin.
Thank you.
Your experiences, when we talked, you mentioned that your first experiences were like at 5 years old. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. When I was 5, I was living in Evanston, Illinois with my family, which consisted of me, my mother, father, and 3 older brothers. And when my father was a journalist also, so what he used to do is he used to go out of town on assignment. So he used to take my older brothers with him, and it was just me and my mother this one particular night. And we were downstairs. It was this big. I lived in a big old rambling. Everything I guess looked big when you're 5 years old, but this was a really old house. I think it was built turn of the century or a little thereafter. Just big old creepy house. And we had a front, the landing which is the living room, which was off the kitchen. So we were sitting down there eating dinner, and we heard footsteps clearly upstairs, walking across the wooden floor. And I turned to my mother. I said, "Well, who's that?" So I knew there was nobody else in the house. And my mother said, "Well, that's my little boy." And I was like, "What do you mean, little boy? The only little boy you got?" And I'm sitting right here. Well, she told me later she thought somebody broke into the house and she was scared. She didn't want to scare me. But yeah, I can clearly, it was just distinctive footfalls right across the wooden floor going from one end of the hall to the next. And I remember that distinctively. So when I was writing that in the book, it was coming back to me, and it was, that was the first one that I ever had, was that experience in that house. And ever since then, incrementally, I've had experiences that continue to this day. But that was, yeah, that was the catalyst. That was the very first one. And again, when somebody says that when you have your first paranormal experience, it stays with you forever. It is true, and it is a life changing experience, and I can attest to that. That was the one that really kind of kicked it off for me, and to this day, it's what got me into the paranormal.
That's really cool that you can actually go back and remember that far back, because for me, it's all a blur. Pretty much after 5 years old, 6 years old. I grew up in the 70s, by the way, so I'm dating myself. It's okay.
I
Oh man, the 70s. I'm telling you, Kevin, I don't know if you're with me, but I love the 70s. I mean, it was like, as it,
80s were my decade, but I do remember the 70s quite vividly.
no, 80s was great as far as being a teenager for me. Being a little kid, like, between 6 and 10 years old, fantastic. Had the best time. Used to ride my Schwinn bike all over the place. Me and neighborhood kids. It was like kind of like Stranger Things in a way, where I'd pick up my friends on the way, through the neighborhood, and we'd go through fields and all kinds of stuff. And it's interesting because there was weird stuff that would happen in some of those places that we would, as kids, we'd go through. And, I would always be like, this is like a ghost town. There's something going on here. I wonder what's happening. And, did you ever have that experience, growing up?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, my first house that I lived in after we moved from Chicago to Virginia was kind of like that. I mean, we had a few experiences. I had a lot of them. I was one of those kids that me and my friends would go to the library all the time, and read every ghost book, every Bigfoot book, alien, UFOs, you name it. It was like, and we continually we do that, and then we'd share them, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'd reread them like throughout the time. So yeah, we were always reading everything, and um, I'd always do that with different books and different libraries and everything. But yeah, and that probably had something to do with some of the experiences early on. It was probably more psychological really than paranormal if you think about it. But nonetheless, it was kind of creepy.
Do you have reservations about the paranormal at all?
Yeah, I would say that the one reservation I have is that, and I don't want to see this happen. I don't think it ever will. Is
Mm-hmm.
that we'll find out what it is. What all this is, and that I think that is like the great mystery that keeps people going, is the fact that we don't know what it is, and everything is theory based. Nothing's been proven,
Mm-hmm.
and that one day it'll all come together and we will all know. And that, I think that will kind of just be a big letdown for me. And that's I think the one reservation I have, is that we'll find out what all this means.
That's interesting, because I'm kind of the opposite. I'm trying to hang on to what I know, and continue to look for more and more about the afterlife. I think it's the greatest mystery of all. I think it goes past UFOs, Bigfoot, a lot of things that are on the fringe topics. And that's why I do what I do, as far as um, investigating and interviewing, people such as yourself. And because I want to know, I want to make sure that, this isn't it, because if it is, then it's all for nothing, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Like I said, that would be, and I've talked to people in all sorts of denominations, and I've had friends that are like, that's fine, that's your belief, but we're all food for worms.
Hmm.
And I respect that, but that, yeah, that would like totally suck if we found out that was. But I've had too many experiences, to say that we are food for worms because I know there's something else out there.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I feel that I've been visited by spirits, like mainly like my father or like a friend of mine who's passed. Um, and you could probably relate because you do consider yourself an empath, right?
Yes.
And I do as well. And I feel that I'm not saying that I communicate with ghosts. I'm just saying that I feel them, or somehow they come to me in dreams, or my dreams are of them and they're interpreted in different ways. Um, when did you learn that you were an empath?
Actually, I think I learned in the last couple of years, actually, when I was finishing up the book. I'd had some friends I actually had a really good friend, who was basically a shaman. And he helped me a lot. But I related a lot of these experiences that I've been having since I was probably most of my life and everything, and I never really understood it. But then he kind of tied it all together and said, "Hey, have you ever heard of this?" And we got to talking about things, and then it all made a lot of sense, like as to why certain things were the way they were. Like I don't like crowds, things like that.
Mhm.
And when I do go to places that have a lot of crowds, I get the headaches and this and that. So he explained all that to me, and it all really made a lot of sense. And I started doing some research. He said, start looking up empathic abilities, and I started researching that on the internet. And okay, I'm gonna I'll throw this out there because I know a lot of people think that's cheesy, and it probably was when I first. Well, I know when I first did it, they have how do you know you're an empath tests on the internet. So I took a few of those and I scored very high on all of them. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm pretty much of an empath. So it's been within the last few years, but um, and then going back and then seeing how that related to as a kid up to now. So I've always had these abilities, but I never knew what they were until quite recently.
Have you ever talked to other people about your abilities, like another medium or another empath or psychic?
Yes, yes, I have. Actually, in
Okay.
the book, one of my ex girlfriends is actually a psychic witch.
Oh, cool. I didn't get to
So,
that part yet, but I will.
and there was, yeah, and there was, excuse me, there's a lot of that. But we used to talk about a lot of the experiences that we had together, and a lot of that I think, had to do with me being empathic, and then bouncing stuff off of her and coming back to me because of her abilities. So that was one. But I've actually talked to a few other empaths, and we kind of compare notes. And yeah, it's kind of amazing because again, you really do feel like you're alone
Mhm.
when you have these things. And then when you find out there's other people out there like that, then all of a sudden it kind of gets the ball rolling. And then, oh, hey, did you hear this? And then people will start relaying their stories to you. And you're like, oh, wow, there's other people out there like me. So I don't feel so alone and I'm not crazy. So, that's a good thing.
Right. Um, Now, you mentioned in the book that you learned more about how there was more paranormal events that happened in Chicago. What were some of those things when you were in Chicago that you learned about?
Okay, well, I distinctly remember having a dream. That was probably shortly after I heard the footsteps. I couldn't have been much more than five, maybe on the verge of being six before we
Mhm.
moved to Virginia. And again, I said, okay, the upstairs hallway that I heard the footsteps was a elongated hallway, wooden floor that led down wooden steps. I'd say 10 or 12, maybe. I had this weird dream that all of my toys, stuffed animals, walked out of the attic and came down those stairs and then walked down the other stairs. Now,
Mhm.
again, going back, okay, that's probably a dream. At 5 years old, I didn't understand that because why would my toys be walking on their own, all of them in a like coming down the stairs? So I again remember that and thought, okay, well, I don't know what that was about. My brother relayed a story, and I don't know if this is true or not, and he doesn't remember, and I've asked him that. But we had the attic upstairs was it was just one of those regular creepy attics, but we had a train set, like the old
Mhm.
train sets that went around, and he'd go up there and play them. And he said one time him and some friends were up there, and he told me a hand came through the window, just a hand, and it like choked him. So again, he doesn't remember any of this, but I do remember him telling me this probably later on when I was probably about 10 or 11. And again, it may have not, he said, like I said, he doesn't remember, but
Right.
I remember vividly the way he told me that, it came through the window, just the hand, and it choked him. So I don't know, again, if that was true or not, but I put that in there just because he said it had happened there. And again, I couldn't really verify that. I probably shouldn't have put that in there. And there was another thing in there. When I used to go to the park that was near my, excuse me, near my house, there was a woman that was very, very, very nice. I just remember she was a very, very pretty lady. She had a very pretty dog, and she had like a pink tank top and long brown hair. And I'm sure she was a full-fledged human, but for some reason, I just have always had this feeling that she wasn't, because nobody else, I don't think, ever interacted with her but me. Nobody
Hmm.
ever saw her. Nobody else talked to her. It was just me. But I'm sure it was probably just because she was talking to me. But I always had this nagging feeling that maybe she wasn't of the living. But I don't know, and maybe she wasn't. But those were the major ones right before we moved that I could remember that. And there's, Chicago is so old, and they have a lot of stuff. And I would love to do the paranormal tours over in Chicago someday, because they have some really good ones. But those are the ones that I've experienced, and there's a couple other ones that were here. There are other people telling me, but those are the ones that I've experienced. And again, maybe not.
Okay. I feel that, there's, you definitely have that sense of being on the fence a bit. Um, I, I shared my story with you. I've shared it with the audience dozens of times, and there's no need to do it. Um, but I definitely feel that there is a presence, when there is a spirit in the room with you. Um, and you may feel this, one of these days, being an empath yourself. And then try to describe that feeling is totally just, it's undescribable. It really is. When you come in contact with a spirit, in my opinion, there's just no way to, in my opinion, you can't deny it. There's something happening. And it's not because I'm thinking about it, or like a placebo, I don't know, effect. Your mind just kind of takes over. But we do have a quick question in the YouTube chat, and Lily wants to know, do you scry?
I don't on a regular basis. I have before. I haven't done it in a long time. I don't even remember if I got anything from that. But I have done it before. Yes.
Okay. I mean, that's just a question I saw out of the blue, so I thought I'd ask it. And I might jump around here in a bit, here and there, Kevin. So bear with me.
No, absolutely. Like I said, freestyle is sometimes the best form of interviews I've found. So
It's always
nothing needs
best.
to be linear with me, and I'm open to anything. So yeah, anything you need, that's fine with me.
Now that's awesome. What are some of the things you consider metaphysical?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, honestly, like I said, a lot of the things for me, the spirits that I've encountered,
Mm-hmm.
the EVPs I've captured are definitely some. I definitely believe in. I have such an open mind that a lot of the cryptids, things like that. I feel that there is Bigfoot out there. I don't know things like that, but I think that there's definitely something out there to all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely say that. And unfortunately, because I've had more of my experiences have been with the spirit realm, I don't have a lot of like cryptid or UFOs, things like that, alien type things. I do have a couple shadow people incidents, which were really interesting.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty much a lot. There's such a large umbrella that things like that can cover. But for me, I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the spirit realm for me. But because that's only because I haven't experienced a lot of the other things. And I would love to. I would love to see Bigfoot. I would love to have an alien encounter. Things like that would just again, a dog man thing. That would be great. I mean, I know a lot of people are like probably thinking, "What's wrong with you?" But I think that would be fantastic. Just to say, hey, I've seen something, and I think that they are out there. I just haven't experienced that. But for me, a lot of the spiritual things for me are what I consider metaphysical. But again, it's such a large umbrella that I think covers a lot of things.
It does. It really does. And if you find a Bigfoot, you are like, it's like finding a four-leaf clover. Anything involved with Bigfoot is just a plus. Recently, in October of last year, me and three of my friends and one that we met up, maybe one or two, we met up at the site. We're doing a Bigfoot investigation in Southern Oregon. Lots of Bigfoot sightings, very woodsy, very away from the cities. So, you don't get the city lights. When you're in the dark, man, you're in the dark. You got to watch where you're going, or else you can definitely trip and fall. So yeah, you definitely need a flashlight or something. But luckily the week that I was there, it was like full moons almost every day. It was pretty cool. And you could see the woods, the moon through the wood, through the trees. And it was just so cool. And if anything, it was a great experience. We did not find Bigfoot, of course. But we did find, some prints. We don't know if it was, Bigfoot or not, but there was definitely some kind of animal out there, very large. And then we saw some other, animal life out there, prints and scat and stuff like that. So, I highly recommend it if you ever get a chance to go, Kevin. Maybe that could be your next book, is writing about Bigfoot or some kind of cryptid.
I would totally love that. I used to live in Pennsylvania, and in southwestern Pennsylvania, if you've ever been there, it's a very rural area, and it's a lot of coal mining areas and a lot of woods and things like that. There was actually another local author who actually wrote something about that, and I actually got to talk to him, but he actually had some Bigfoot experiences over there. We've actually seen things like that, but there was actually a park over there that me and one of my former girlfriends used to frequent all the time, and I just remember saying to myself when we were walking through it that this is prime Bigfoot country. I don't know where it came from. I never saw anything, never heard anything, but just from what everybody has talked about, that would have been the perfect place. It was, secluded woods, things like that. It would have been, Bigfoot would have loved it. So then later on, I actually read somebody's book from there that actually included that. And I was like, oh, well, there in the park that we were in was actually in the book. And I was like, well, there you go. Somehow I knew. But yeah, I would love to do that. That would be so cool to go on a Bigfoot expedition. I would love to do that.
And another question comes in from the Night Stalker in the Discord Strange chat. He asks, does Kevin find any connection between paranormal activity and the geography of the location? For example, ley lines, maybe portals, etc.
Yeah, I definitely do think there is something there. I've read up on ley lines and portals and things like that. I don't know if I've come across any, but I've actually learned that in a lot of the places that I've written about in my book, there is something there, especially the ones I mentioned before in Pennsylvania and Virginia. I live in more of a rural area in some of those places. So yeah, I definitely believe geography has some things to do with it, definitely. And the more than one dimension theory, the multidimensional theory, really kind of appeals to me because it makes a lot of sense. And here's something that I know you'll remember, and some of the other people, some of the older people in the audience might remember it. To me, you remember the old Pac-Man game?
Oh, who could forget?
Remember how you could take Pac-Man out one side and he'll come out the other side of the screen?
Yeah.
That's what I think in some of these cases. That's what happens is they can slip in between our worlds. So they kind of go in one, and that's what I think Bigfoot might be, is a multidimensional being, because there's so many. But I think a lot of spirits are too. And what I will say with that is that I've noticed, like, you might be somewhere, and I've read this where somebody was out in the countryside of England, and there was like a legion of Roman soldiers that walked by in like the 1980s or something, and didn't pay any attention to the humans that were sitting there. And they were like, wow, that's crazy. What was that about? So that to me, that if there is such thing as multidimensional, that would make some sense, like a time slip, things like that. But yeah, I think kind of like the Pac-Man analogy is kind of what I use. That some of these they can kind of go in between like that.
That's a great theory. I've never thought of it that way, and I can see that now that you've brought that up. We have a question from Big Sister in Nevada. She wants to know: does Kevin experience spirits everywhere, or does he have to go looking?
No, they find me.
They find you.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm and again, this is other analogy, excuse me, that I use is I'm the motel beacon, the light, the pink neon sign that says, vacancy on those
Yeah.
motels.
Mm-hmm.
That's me, because that's I'm the beacon for them. They see me and like, oh, he can hear this. We're going to go over there. So, yeah, it's not the location. It's me. And I actually figured that out while I was writing the book. That pretty much I figured it was kind of like an epiphany, is that, wow, that happens to me. So I've been pretty much, I can go almost anywhere, and there'll be something there. And it's just like, well, it's got to be me. So that's kind of what I come up with. So yeah, it's not the location. It's me. I mean, I could go to a brand new house and something would follow me over there.
So it's like Tom Bodette says for Motel 6, you basically leave the light on.
Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah. I leave the light on for the spirits.
For the spirits, you leave the light on for them. That's awesome. Right on. Okay, so guys, if you want to call in, go ahead. The phone number is 1-415-891-9083. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat rooms. I'm going to go ahead and do that right now for YouTube. 1-415-891-9083. And that goes for you guys in Discord as well. I don't have the talk back feature on in there. You guys can hear the show, but you cannot talk back right now tonight. I apologize. I'm working on that, but please do call in. That number again is 1-415-891-9083. It is in both chat rooms. If anyone's in there and you want to go ahead and share that number with everybody else, please do while I conduct the show. That would be great. And, I think we already have our first caller. So how cool is that? Let's go ahead and find out who that is. Caller, you are live with Dave Cruz and Kevin Killen.
Hey, Dave, it's Russ Bailey. How are you this evening?
Russ, my buddy, my brother, how are you?
I'm doing great, sir. Loving the show so far. Love, all the experiences and everything. And it's funny how Kevin should mention Chicago, because got a little bit of a story to tell you about a ghost story in Chicago. So I won't take long, but my sister lives in Chicago, and she's a registered nurse, and she was having lunch with her friend one day who's also a registered nurse at the same hospital. Well, long story short, her friend who lives in Chicago, she lives in, not too old of a house, I guess, but in the kitchen, she has an island, and she has these pots and pans hanging down, over top of her island. Well, one night she just heard the pots and pans rattling in the middle of the night, and she came down and, nobody was there.
Mm-hmm.
And, she kept having these experiences. She would like see stuff out of the corner of her eyes and stuff like that. And, it got so bad one night that she had to call the police to her house, and they searched the whole house, didn't find nothing. She heard pots and pans rattling, people knocking and everything. And, it's kind of a short story, but the creepy part is, she told my sister, she said, I thought I was going crazy until my son one day, comes up to me and says, Mommy, who's that man in the long black coat that runs through our house so fast and doesn't even look at us? He doesn't even acknowledge we're here.
Wow.
So evidently some type of residual haunting. She said, I knew then I have a ghost. And so it was some type of residual haunting in her house that was calling the pots and pans to rattle and, hear all sorts of noises. But, it goes back to, when you're a child, as Kevin said, a lot of his experiences started when he was young. Children are more susceptible a lot of times to and open to spirits and everything. And, that kid, her child was probably the same age as Kevin. And, him seeing that going through the house, just, that just kind of blows my mind. Just kind of eerie, but really neat story. I had to share that this evening.
No, absolutely. And it sounds to me almost like a synchro in a way. That's pretty cool that you were able to relate that story to Kevin's story. And Kevin, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that gave me goosebumps. The hair stood up on my arms for that one.
That's great.
Like I said, I can totally sympathize and empathize, literally, with the child going through what I did. But that's another thing too. Is like when you have these experiences, whether you're a kid or an adult or anything, the first thing we turn to is, do we really hear that? Or are we crazy? And I've been there. I don't know how many. I still go through that. You have to question everything.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're a kid, you go through that. You're like, wow, was that really there? What was that? And the creep factor is 10 times above that. But and I think a lot of, I hate to use. I don't want to use this analogy too much because I've gotten a little bit of flack for it. But for me, like a lot of paranormal experiences, even though they're becoming more mainstream now, have been underreported, kind of like certain assaults, because people are still afraid to quote unquote come out of the closet. And again, I mean that in the ghost way, but a lot of people are afraid to report it because they're afraid to be told they're told they're crazy. And I've gone through that. I still go through that.
Oh, Kevin, for some reason I can't hear you.
Yeah, I lost him too.
Kevin, hang on one second. Let me see if I can get you back. Let's find out what's going on here. Boom, 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 boom. We want to. All right, Kevin, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear
All
me?
right. Yeah, I can hear you now. For some reason, I lost you there for a second. So you're going to have to repeat everything you just said, my friend. Sorry about that.
That's quite all right. Again, that's another byproduct because me, it's usually not the connection. It's usually they like to mess with me. So that's probably something more paranormal than it is technological. But as I was saying, that I think a lot of paranormal experiences go underreported because people think we're crazy. Mm-hmm. So just especially when you're a kid, and kids are, I found out children are so honest. Kids will tell you, everything honestly, and this is what they see or hear, and it doesn't matter really what it is. But when he related what the child said about the man in the house and everything, I mean that was just I got goosebumps from that. But I think again, because of the innocence of the children, that's kind of where we see things, because I don't know the correlation between spirit activity and children, because why would anybody want to scare anybody? But at the same time, a lot of children do see paranormal activity, I think, because of the innocence of the child.
Yeah, that could be. That definitely could be. And Russ, did you have anything you want to add to that?
I mean, I definitely agree. Spot on. I mean, it's like I said, children are more susceptible, and I think if you look hard enough for something, sometimes you'll see it too.
Absolutely. And do you share any? Because by the way, Russ is a paranormal investigator in his own right, there, Kevin, and he's sent some really cool pictures. We've talked a lot about this over the past couple of years. I've known Russ. He's been on investigations with his own Black Sky Paranormal company, and he's definitely uncovered a lot of things that are would definitely show some spiritual and paranormal activity. But I think that's really cool that you guys hit on that story. And Russ, thanks again for calling in.
Yes, appreciate you having me, and Dave, just wait till you see our episode on the Witching Hour season 2.
Oh yes, sir.
It'll blow you away.
Yeah, please plug that. When is that coming out?
It's coming out next month in June. You can and actually Argos Paranormal, which is Ryan and Renzo Martinez, some good friends of
Great
mine.
guys. Yeah.
They're actually in the Northern Virginia area. You should look them up, Kevin. They're excellent paranormal investigators. They have the Witching Hour TV show. They did the Haunted Republic series and everything. But it's launching next month. You'll have it on YouTube and a lot of public stations around the country. But we did an investigation with Argos Paranormal at the Lord Baltimore Hotel in Baltimore, Maryland. Let me tell you, that is a really, really old hotel, really, really crazy night. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's insane, the stuff that happened that night.
That's fantastic, Russ. We're looking forward to that, my friend, and we'll definitely catch up with you later.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on, and y'all have a good night.
You too, Russ. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Russ Bailey, everyone, from Black Sky Paranormal. And yeah, Argos Paranormal has, I've had Remzo Martinez on my show before, along with his brother, and they've done some pretty good investigations. What can I ask, Kevin? Is that true? What I wrote about or what I read off your bio about, you still have not gone on a paranormal investigation, like physically?
Well, yeah, that's kind of interesting that you say that, Dave. Is I was actually talking to somebody a little while ago, and they actually read my book, and they said, because of the things that you've done in your book, you've basically done investigations without really knowing it. I never thought of it that way, and I guess if you look at it that way, I guess I have with the EVPs and the captures and things like that. I never really looked at it. I guess I was talking more of going out with a team. And just kind of tagging along with the team and just kind of just watching, seeing what goes on there. That I guess basically is what I mean. But I've never been on a full investigation with the team before, and again, I would love to do that. I've actually talked to. I think this coronavirus has kind of shut down some people because I've actually reached out to some paranormal groups to see if I can tag along, and I haven't gotten any responses at all. So I don't know if it's just the timing or what, but I haven't been able to get a hold of anybody to actually plug in. And again, I work nights, so it's kind of hard to pin down certain times. But I think until this COVID stuff slows down or goes away, I still want to do that with the team, just to tag along and just let them do their thing and just see what's what.
Yeah, I think so too. And once this whole quarantine's just screwed up so many things. I've been wanting to go to other places as well, and I was scheduled to go to a family reunion in Texas, and after that reunion, I was going to make my way down to where some of my cousins live in Mineral Wells, and there is a place there called the Baker Hotel that is supposedly super haunted. And people walk by the hotel and they start running. That's how bad it is on the outside. They're running outside. Yeah. So it's like, I want to go there. I definitely want to go check it out. And right now I've definitely have the time for it because I'm not working currently at my 9 to 5, which I don't have a problem with. It's just the funds kind of hurt you after a while. And by the way, people, if anyone out there wants to, you can help out the show. I'm not asking for money for myself. I'm just asking if you want to help the show, go to beyondthestrange.com, and there's a way how you can support the show. Just click on the support us tab, and you can definitely help us out that way. And I will continue to have shows like having with Kevin, and maybe throw out some kind of a giveaway, one of Kevin's books or something like that. And just keep coming back to the show, and you'll be available. That'll be available for you for our prizes and giveaways of the show. So, Kevin, where are you likely to go next? That you after this quarantine, like we were talking about, where would you really, really, really want to go and check out?
Wow. Yeah, I have quite an extensive bucket list of paranormal hotspots, I should
Nice.
say, and actually a lot of them are actually out your way.
Oh,
The Winchester
California.
Mystery House,
Yes.
the Whaley House, the Queen Mary, definitely. The Hotel Coronado, I believe, is out your way somewhere in California. I believe is it Coronado?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another one. And my father was born and raised, or actually was raised in Sacramento. Geez, Santa Monica. Excuse me, Santa Monica. I've yet to beat it that I remember in California, but definitely Salem, Massachusetts is another one.
Oh
I would
yeah.
love to go to the Villisca Axe Murder House in Iowa, and definitely the Myrtles Plantation in Louisiana.
Wow, you just named off like three places I've never even heard of, and that is the researcher investigation part in you that I can definitely see where you find a lot of these places that are hotspots, and those are some places I haven't even heard of. I think that's great. By the way, thanks again. Russ Bailey comes through with a 9.99 super chat, and I really greatly appreciate that for the show. Thank you, sir. Um, that is awesome. When do you think you'll make your way out to some of these places? I mean, especially
Uh,
after they say it's okay to start, traveling again.
Yeah, hopefully in in the very near future. What I'm trying to do is again, my next project is going to be battlefield ghosts. Obviously, since I love history and I live in
In the
battlefield country essentially in
South,
Virginia.
so, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do maybe a two-parter. I haven't really talked to my publishing company yet about that, but definitely do a two-part series on 4 or 5 battlefields in Virginia, Pennsylvania, North and Maryland, Antietam and Gettysburg, of course, included, and then maybe move down farther south to Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, and maybe Mississippi and get a couple battlefields down there. And what I'd like to do there is just, take a camera and a tape recorder and talk to people and, go off there and see if I can get anything. And I'm trying to get a hold of an SB7. So I'd like to see if I get the spirit box going. I've never used one of those, but just kind of
Okay.
see what I can get and go ahead and take some pictures and get some. Because again, if I'm truly this magnet for the paranormal, I'm sure I'll get them to talk to me. So that's my next project right now, and I'm again, the COVID kind of put the kibosh on that because I haven't
Oh,
been able
sure.
to do much other than some preliminary work. So once I can get at least the manuscript going on that, depending on how work goes and things like that, then maybe if hopefully maybe next year, early next year sometime, to try and make it out west there.
Nice. Yeah, and you got my information. Definitely look me up when you come out here, and we'll do some investigation. We'll start our own
Oh,
team. How's that?
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, man. And it's funny because as long as I've lived here, I have not been to the Winchester Mystery House. Shame on me. Um, you know, but that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to, especially now. It's funny. It's like this quarantine kind of gives you a appreciation, if you will, for places that that you say you're going to go to, and then you never get a chance to go, and then they lock everything down, and then you're like, oh no, I should have done it when I had the chance. Well,
Absolutely.
if we're getting a second chance, we better do it now because you never know what's going to happen next. Um,
Absolutely, yeah, and again, Northern Virginia. I live 3 miles from Mount Vernon, and I haven't been to Mount Vernon since I was a kid. And again, Mount Vernon is supposed to be tremendously haunted, of course. And I live, like I said, literally right down the road, and I have yet to go. And now I can't because of the corona. So,
mm-hmm.
like what you said, you're totally right. But there's a lot of places in Northern Virginia because it's so old that are haunted. And actually, somebody asked me one time, "Have you gone to this place or that place?" And I told them I haven't. Ford's Theater is definitely one I'd love to go to in DC, and that's like right over the bridge from me. So and again, you're right. Until this thing calms down and they open some things back up, I'm kind of on the sidelines with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. It's definitely just one of those things that we just can't get around. We got about 7 minutes. Anybody else want to call in and just for a shout out, or you want to say hi to Kevin, or you want to tell a little quick story? The phone number is for 1-415-891-9083. Again, that number is 1-415-891-9083 while the phone line's open. And, until then, we got some comments in some of the chat rooms here in the YouTube chat. I see Michael Jordan said something about Bloody Angle Battlefield Park. Are you familiar with that?
Honestly, I cannot say that I am. It sounds really interesting. Could you tell me where it is? Because
Hey, Mike,
I don't believe I've ever heard of that.
Call in if you get a chance. The number is 1-415-891-9083. You know the number well, Mike. And, maybe you can shed some light on that. If that's a place that you know about, I'm pretty sure it's probably Virginia. He's a Bloody Angle Battlefield Park. That's a new one on me, but then again, there's a lot of places.
I'm not familiar with that. Maybe it's something I should become familiar with. It sounds pretty interesting.
Battle Angel. Okay, or Bloody Angel Battlefield Park.
No, that's I'm not familiar with that one either.
Still not ringing a bell. But Mike, if you want to call in, and I think that's him right there. Let's see who that is. Let's bring in the caller right now. Hi, you're live with Dave Cruz and Kevin Killen.
Yeah, Dave, it's Michael.
Hey, Michael, how's it going? Kevin, can you hear him okay?
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out. It's called Bloody Angel Battlefield Park. It's in Spotsylvania, Virginia.
Okay.
It was one of they had the most people died there. It's just really
wow.
People because I don't know if the parks are open, the Battlefield parks are open yet or not, but when people go jogging through there, they can hear people talking in the woods.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting that you said that, because that's one of the places down there that I'm looking at for the next book is Spotsylvania and the Wilderness in Chancellorsville.
Kevin, if you ever want to get together, because I actually talk to the dead for to go do something together or something like that. I would enjoy that because I just don't have many chances to go out and do that. I do a lot of that at home.
That'd be nice.
Okay.
I always want to have some kind of a psychic medium, a spirit, talking to the dead person with you whenever you go to a hotspot. That'd be pretty neat. And you guys are both members of Beyonders Cruise, so for those of you guys, I'm shameless plug. You guys, anyone in the that wants to join Beyonders Crew on Facebook, just let me or Russ Bailey know, and we'll set you up and get you in there. And there's lots of great topics, lots of great fringe type articles and stuff that people just post all the time. And Kevin, I'm sure if you like, you can always put something up there. Mike shares his stuff, and people can get together and talk about everything that's paranormal. So it's a wonderful spot to hang out and build that community. So anyways, thanks, Mike, for calling in. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Have a good one. That was Michael Jordan, everyone. Good friend of the show, regular, calls in, whenever he gets a good topic going. And that's a wonderful thing there. But yeah, that would be pretty cool, Kevin. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That'd totally be cool. And like I said, I haven't heard of that. And again, I'm in the preliminary stages of the next manuscript for the book, so I haven't really delved into the battlefields. I'm familiar with some of them, but yeah, I'll have to definitely check this one out, because that was actually one of the ones I want to touch on and actually go out there and do some investigating and see what I get. So yeah, I appreciate that.
We have the Night Stalker in the Discord chat. maybe we can go over a few minutes if you're okay with that, Kevin. He wanted to ask.
Absolutely.
He wanted to ask if you had any tips for people that want to go on their own paranormal investigations. And actually, there he is right now. So we got the Night Stalker from the Discord chat who's calling in on the phone line. Night Stalker, how you doing tonight?
What's going on, Dave? What's going on, Kevin? A really great show tonight. Really cool stuff. We're kind of running down to the wire. So I was going to ask if, because I've never gone on my own paranormal hunts, and I'm always kind of nervous about going because like I don't want to bring anything home with me. So I was wondering if Kevin had any tips on how to not bring anything back with me. But I'll let you guys go and I'll keep listening. A really awesome show.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. The one thing I would say is, and again, I learned this kind of the hard way. Don't do it by yourself. Try to go with somebody with you. Also, it's my opinion that spirits are obviously that you keep your personality when you die. So if you're a jokester in life, you're going to be a jokester in the afterlife. If you're a dick, pardon my French, you're going to be a dick in the afterlife. So basically, what I've been told and what I do is I go into a place like a cemetery or whatever, and I say, you cannot follow me home. You will stay here, and I'm a friend, and I just want to talk with you, and just kind of do that. And you basically, like I said, they'll listen to you for the most part. That they won't follow you home. I know that hasn't happened to everyone before, and I've actually had a couple of attachments myself. But basically, if you tell them, hey, don't follow me home, you're not allowed to, they, for the most part, will listen to you and they will stay put. So that would be my advice. Don't try to go alone, and just basically you're in command. Just make sure you're always, you're in command of the situation.
Yeah, that's what I was always told. I was also told that, for kind of having the belief or the intention or whatever you want to call it, it's all about intentions, and people who have that problem of believing in spirits. Perhaps you can do even a little prayer or some kind of meditation or something like that. Smudge or something like that. Things like that would definitely get those those spirits off you and away from you. Kevin, it is been an hour, my friend. I can't believe it went by that fast, right? And so at this time, I'd like to ask you, how can people learn about you, your books, anything you got coming up? Plug away, my friend.
All right. If you want to get a hold of my book, which I would greatly appreciate, you can contact ozarkmountainpublishing.com. You can go to my author's page there. You can contact Amazon.com, of course. Pretty much anywhere books are sold online, you can get my book. I think it is still in some bookstores like Walmart. I think they do sell it at Walmart. I'm pretty sure they do. If you want to contact me, and I'm always open to talk to anybody about anything, whether it be ghosts, spirits, EVPs, Bigfoot, aliens, just basically anything. Contact me at KKILLEN, B as in boy, T as in Tom, KKillenBT at gmail.com. You can hit me up on Instagram at IrishKev7147. And again, I welcome any and all interactions. I love to have honest discourse about this. So I go, when I do these shows, I always say, hey, anybody in the audience that wants to talk about anything, hit me up via email or Instagram, and we'll go ahead and get the ball rolling. So those are the best ways to do that. But basically, I'm working on my next book now. So I don't know when it'll be out. It's still in the preliminary stages, but I'll definitely keep you posted.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin. And you have a great evening, my friend. And we will talk to you soon. And I'll see you in the Beyonders chat.
Thank you for having me on, Dave. I appreciate it. It was a great show.
All right. Thanks, buddy. You take care.
You do the same.
All right. That's Kevin Killen, everyone. And man, I'll tell you that it's just been a great show tonight, and I'm really stoked to do these once in a while when I get a chance. Whether it's ghosts, paranormal, you name it. You know, it'll be on Beyond the Strange if it is indeed Beyond the Strange. And with that, peeps, it's time to close the show. Beyond the Strange is owned and copyrighted by Dave Cruz. It cannot be simulcast, rebroadcasted, or copied without written consent of Beyond the Strange. Also, the views and opinions are not necessarily that of Beyond the Strange. Hosts, guests, and affiliated networks, listeners are encouraged to conduct research and formulate their own opinions. Executive producer and creator of Beyond the Strange is Dave Cruz. Co-executive producer is Deb J. Cruz. Music is by Alan Hall and Zebrafish. Getting a disclaimer by sci-fi author Casper Parks. By the way, just to put it out there for everyone, we are going to have, Gigi and I are going to have the Midnight Blend coming back this Saturday night. So look for that in the Discord channel for the Midnight Blend, and on Twitter and everywhere that you can find the Midnight Blend. You know, check it out. It's going to be awesome. It is on Twitch. Gigi has got some stuff brewing for the show. All new special effects, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be fun. You guys are great. Love you all. Remember, stay safe and always stay strange. Hasta.